Morning, Art Machine. How are you? Thanks for joining me for coffee. And of course, keyboards. This is my Zoom TKL. I got it aftermarket. I love it. It is one of my foamier sounding keyboards. Okay. Now there's 3 hands. Gotta put in a lurk command. Boom. And now there's a lurk. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that there is a lot for us to get through today. But I think the Zoom64 is going to be a pretty simple build, at least this time. So I am still waiting on the module to allow me to, because I thought and we'll go over this actually. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Put away this bad boy for a little bit, along with Mr. Mouse. quick. Yeah. But let's look at what we're building. So this is what we're building today. And I did not get the pre-built version. But what I did get was the Midnight Ink Glow. I haven't really seen this go to anyone else, so I'm hoping that y'all really enjoy it. So it has this kind of mandala effect around the edge, or it's supposed to. And then obviously I'll be adding foams, and I'll be adding palm plate. It's the plate that I received. And the foam kit that I have is the pour on, not the standard. What's up, man? How are you doing this morning? I'm just kind of showing off what we're going to be building today. So, like I said, we have the palm plate, but of course, this is the keyboard we're building today. This is the Zoom64 Midnight Ink Glow. Also very cool. We are going to be building it with the brand new Divinikey HMX collab switches, which are the Saru V2s, which are these switches, which are these switches, which you can't see, but you will, which are kind of a linear or tactile linear hybrid. So basically it has the D bump at the very beginning, and then it I need that thing popped up in front. So yeah, so it has a big D bump at the beginning, but then it smooths off. So it's a very interesting switch. As a person who likes the D bump, but is really a linear switch fan, I'm kind of excited about this. And it's HMX, which we know I love, so we'll see how it works out. This might be my new go-to switch. Will it usurp the lunar stone? Only time will tell. I have a few lunar stones around here, so we'll be able to do a comparison. Yes, I know where they are. They're with my not a full set of HMX switch bin. Morning, Epi. What's going on? Or Mist? Which one do you prefer? Epi? Mist? Or Epimist? Are you like a person who is like a Michael and doesn't like to be called Mike? Oh. Coffee's good. Zero preference. Well, then we'll go with Epi, like a pen. Huh, interesting. So yeah, if anybody's interested, this is my Zoom TKL. I have a number of Zooms already. Yeah. Epidemist? Yes, I do own a number of Zooms already. I have the 65V3, the TKL, and the 98. I think that is... Oh, and then Freya, her daily driver is the 75 Tiga with the 75, or rather with the Tiga pad. So there's that. Well, let's get this out of the way so that we can focus on the new hotness and see what comes in this very interesting case. So the production run, not dissimilar from the promo units that were sent out, came in this bag, was folded up on the side, and I put everything in it because the plate and the foams came separately from being in the pack. So it's got Bellatrix written on the side, Bellatrix written on the top. So very boutique, very bouge. It says something here that I can't read. It says here at the bottom, imprinted. Let's see. Dedicated to every special you. Open your own universe and explore the infinite worlds. Here at the bottom, embossed on the bottom of the bag. This mark here that you can't really see, but I see it, was for me. So we will, and then you have the embossed logo on the front. This is a drawer, so it slides out, revealing the hard shell case. Love to see it. Then in the bottom we have the usual long ass sheet of paper with all of your hotkeys. I mean long. It's super long. Here. Super long. On one side it has the Chinese, on one side, the other side it has the English. It folds like a map, which is to say not very well at all. Actually, I got it pretty easily. Q&A, important notices. Please do not assemble the keyboard if there are any factory defects. Let's hope there's not, such as surface scratches. Assembly will be considered acceptance of the exterior condition. So this is very similar to QWERTY keys. They do the same thing. Warranties. All PCBs sold by us come with a 1-year warranty against non-human damage. That's a dangerous statement because, you know, what if it's attacked by robots? Or your dog? After 1 year, we will provide free technical support and or paid hardware repair services. If you encounter issues with screws or other metal parts, do not force them. Contact after-sales support immediately. PC products, do not over-tighten screws on all PC products as they can cause irreversible damage because it's polycarbonate. PCB screws, if there are screws on the back of the PCB, secure them gently without excessive force to avoid damaging the PCB. Well, yeah. Hidden screws when assembly. Kit with fully hidden screws. Be careful not to let the screwdriver come in contact with the top case to avoid scratching it. Yes. Well, you know, that's why this. See this? Hidden screwdriver. If it's a hex screw of the right size, which is an M2 size. Yeah, and the last thing is if you modify it and break it, you bought it. All right, and with that, we have taken in all of their notices. And the box will go off onto the side somewhere. It's a good box. Now, let's take a look at the case. All right, so inside the case, in the back, we have stabilizers, which is nice. I have stabilizers, but we'll use those because they're basically the same as stabilizers I got. Kit. I don't think there's a car in here. So what is kit? This is your mounting. This is other mounting. Ribbon cables, and that's it. Hey, look, they included a screwdriver. Let's see. How good is their screwdriver? Let's see if we can get this open without ruining the box. So this is a rubber end. It slides in there. It is a hex screw. I think it's the same size. I think so. So we'll use their screwdriver as I try to always do. As opposed to this. This is their cable, which I will probably not use. Although it is a braided A to C cable. Here's our PCB. This is a wireless PCB, So it does 2.4 Bluetooth and wired. Excuse me for the noise. So we're going to set that there. Now this is the 64 key. Come on, you. There we go. All right. Here's our 64 per key RGB wireless PCB. There is a light up here, which is probably going to go to the knob structure, which we'll see when we look at the case in a second. As far as compatibility, not too bad for a 64 key. So you have ISO, split backspace, which we absolutely will not do. You can do true ISO because it splits the left shift, and then step caps. There's no splitting over here because it's all one U over on this side, but it has a fixed bottom row. There's a bit of a blemish near the space bar. I hope that doesn't indicate any type of damage, but we'll see. Set that off to the side. That is it for this very nice top case. Now let's take a look at the bottom case. I said let's take a look at the bottom case. So if I remember correctly, when this was going around, I think this was one of the keyboards that they said use the foams. So it's interesting to me that the foams would come separately. And here we go. There is plastic in the bottom, including a PET sheet I can see. We're going to take that and set that off to the side for the moment so that we can actually take a look at this. Let's see, probably get the full effect from the bottom. Sorry for I've already got smudges on it. There you go. That is really cool. Some do. What did I build recently that had? Yeah, it's a mandala. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that's how I pronounce it. It is one of the things that really interested me in this board, and it goes around to the side. It's not around the frame, like this smooth curve frame, which is really nice, by the way. Then you have the 2 feet in the back, which, or rather, in the front. And then again around onto the top, so it kind of shows on the top. And then, oh, here's where that LED is going to go, so that'll be right here. Then you have the scroll wheel, which is connected to the bottom case by pogo pins. Always happy to see that. However, there is a ribbon cable that goes to the PCB. That's going to be this bad boy right here. It does come with spares. Here's to hoping that there's no problem with that. It uses the ball catch system, so we are able to do that. Now this trough over here that is currently empty is for the module that will allow us to install a what do you call it, a wooting into here. Oh, coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. This is Community Coffee with Chicory, in case anybody wondered. So you have the ribbon cable that goes underneath, which I think goes to another PCB that is under here. Then you have this piece, this daughter board here. Now this daughter board gets replaced when you put in the wooting module. That is what I'm waiting on. So it's not actually available on the website. I had to reach out to them, and then they charged me 25 bucks for it. So keep that in mind, that if you don't get the module, if you don't get, I think it's the pre-built, then you have to buy the module separately, and currently it's not available through the website. And then you also need to get an appropriate plate that will install. There are a total of 6, 2 in the middle, and 4 on the corners that act as force brake for when you are reinstalling the top case, which then installs like that. And that's the case. Let's take a look at these stabs. See if they gave us a full set of stabs, or did they just give us enough for the 64? The 64 will require 3 2U and 1 spacebar. If it's a full set, it'll have at least 1 more 2U. Only enough for this specific build. But it did come in black. It came with PCB pads. Again, there's a bit of a blemish on here, which I think is from these stabs actually came pre-lubed. They are screw-in stabs. So we're just gonna roll with it, because these are screw-in, which means they are not the standard stupid stabs. Now I have a set of Wuche Studio stupid stabs available, and we will see if that needs to be used. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Call me Yaz. All right, Yaz, I will do that. So here is the funny $2 question. They gave us 1 screwdriver. Does the 1 screwdriver work with everything? It looks like it'll work with this, and it does. I'm not going to undo that now. We'll check the internals when we go there. But does it work with the screws? Oh. It does. No, wait. I think it does. It'll be close. Let me see. It might actually be this bit, which is the KBD fans. Screwdriver. So again, these stabs were supposed to come pre-lubed. It looks like they did. We'll see how good a job they did on it. And then, well, we'll try it first. Come on. What did I just say? Not magnetic. Oh, so this bit is the same as the KVD fans bit. Where did it go? Onto the floor. Of course, I hate magnetic screws. Oh, this is the reason why y'all show up. Are you even the right screw? Or are you a completely different thing? I don't know what you are. You are not the screw though. Are the rest of you magnetic? Yes. So just the screwdriver is not magnetic. The screws are. I may have to opt or alt in another screw. It did not come with an extra. Also not the screw I'm looking for. Yes, I'm finding all my screws now. Alright. Yes. I will need to opt in a screw if I do not find it. Fine. I just hate, apparently. How about I dislike? I dislike when they do not include at least one extra screw for a case like this. Anyway. That was a segue. Oh, I don't have a sponsor. Alright. I'll find another screw in a second. I think I have some right there. Let's try this again. Second verse, same as the first. Push a little bit further in. Welcome to any new arrivals. How are y'all doing on this? What is for me at the moment Sunday? Hope y'all are having a good one. All right, so we have a spacebar. Oh, should I put in the stabilizer pads? I don't usually use them. Oh man. Oh, I remember those days. Hey, that just completely didn't do what I wanted it to do. And of course it fell. You know, I love clip-in stabs. I tried the 4 wraps. They are that good. They get in stock. And I have the money. I might have to load up on some. Although I'm also trying the Designer Studios stabs, which are also seem to be pretty nice. And this is the Designer Studios PCB mount stabs. I've already been using their plate mount stabs for their adaptive stabilizers, which have a little tab at the bottom, which I think is similar to what the 4 wraps use, only Designer Studio did it first. But I think that 4 wraps actually has also silicone in it, so there is that. In my younger days, I used to be a French Quarter rat, which is to say, I used to spend my nights and weekends in the French Quarter in New Orleans. If you're familiar with that, you know that it's kind of a crazy place. And so I would go there. And Saturday was goth night at the club I used to go to. I know. I was kind of a fake goth, so I didn't go full makeup and wear skirts and things like that, like some of my friends did. As a matter of fact, I was one of the few people at this underground club that was allowed to go in wearing jeans, which I wore at the time, which I do not wear now. I only wear black slacks now, which is funny, since, you know, when I should have been wearing black pants, I was not. Now that it doesn't matter, I do. Alright, well, let's see. Don't have screws right here. What screws are used? I hung out with some punks. Not the gutter punk crowd. But the no punks, yeah. Kind of. My friends like to call me a social butterfly. I used to hang out with everybody. Well, the last one doesn't get standoffs. Welcome to the scuffiest of streams. Alright, maybe not the scuffiest of streams. The thing I used to really love was, and still do, is 80s music. So on Thursdays, there would be an 80s night. And last time I checked, they still did, but I don't know if they still do now. At a club called, well, it's now called One Eye Jacks. It was called the Shim Sham Club when I started going there. Then they ended up selling it. And during the process when they were selling it and everything was transitioning, it bopped around for a while. It went to Bourbon Street. The 80s did have a lot of good music. Accurate. Alright, so let's take a look at our foam kit. Probably should have looked at this before. As always, even though we are testing out some, and the spacebar, even though we're testing out switches, I'm sure that if you wanted to hear the Saru switches without foams, there is going to be plenty of opportunities. As a matter of fact, there is already on the website and on their Discord, people doing sound tests with like Gion. Keyboards and stuff like that. I'm sure those have zero foams and have MX blacks in them because that's how people roll. So, but if you're like me and you like foams, then I'm your place. So, I'm going to be building this in the way I'm not going to say God intended, because I don't think he has any interesting keyboards. Well, I'm sure he does, because he's omnipotent, if you believe in such a deity. And if not, and he exists, he still has it. If he doesn't, you know, what else? I do not... Actually, I don't care. Hey, don't listen to that. Yeah, I get at least one every stream. Usually just one, which is weird. At some point in my life, I need to get some mods. So this comes with standoffs. I don't know that I need to use the standoffs. I never generally do. Unless it's something like a unless it's actually a magnetic, and that's because the pins that are on magnetic switches are not enough of a, we're going to set this off to the side. They're not enough of, to friction fit your actual keyboard in place. So, okay. So, as I said before, Divinikey sent me these switches. These are their brand new Saru V2 switches. They're a collab with HMX. Oh, I almost forgot. Can't forget my space bar. Which is funny, they add the little part for the space bar, but they do not add the extra part for over here. Makes me wonder why. What do they have against that key, huh? Make sure our RGB is coming through. All right, like I was saying, I won't need all of these. They sent me 90, which is great. Which means I only need to order 20 more for a full set. But yeah, the specifications of this switch, which I just put a bunch of switches in a way. It's got that 0.1 millimeter until you get the bump, which is crazy. Modified palm stem, PA 12 top housing, PA2 bottom housing, so full nylon case. Yeah, that's the thing. It's supposed to have the bump right at the very top. That way, it's not. You still have the tactility of the bump, and it's definitely, like, they say that if you don't, if you're just typing, you'll eventually stop noticing it, and it'll just feel almost like a linear. So, like, if somebody made a brown but did it right, that's what this would be, because it has the tactility of the bump, but at the same time, it has the smoothness of a linear, because once you get over the bump, you don't have the D part at the end where it drops. It's a smooth, so you get the hard bump and then just smoothness. It's very nice. Like I said, it's made by HMX, so my current favorite switch maker, and so I'm looking forward to it. I'm wondering if this will be my new go-to switch, which it might become it by default, since the Lunar Stone, which everybody may or may not know is my favorite switch, is always unavailable. All right, let's see. Okay, there's one corner. So I always try to get my corners done first, and that is to position the positioning plate. Because this is palm, you'll get some flex from the plate itself. So it's always best to put in your switches outside. That way they're supported from underneath, so that you don't end up popping sockets. Oh, actually, we don't need you anymore. You'll probably show up later again. So I use the mat. Yeah, that's one of the things, like almost an ongoing joke about Browns, is that they are not terribly tactile for being tactile switches. So because this has ISO support, the way they often do it, and they do in this case, is that they turn your orientation for your enter key and your backslash key, so that the enter key faces this way. So one of the problems with that is that normally fitting switches into a plate has little clips at the top and the bottom. So for your enter key and your backslash key, they actually don't interface that well. Well, in the case of the enter key, at all. In the case of the backslash, it only interfaces at the bottom, but not at the top, because there's a gap there. So be careful when you're pulling out or pulling off the keycaps, because the switches will just come with it, which on softer plates can happen anyway. So if we wanted to split, we would not have included the stabilizers, and then there would be two switches facing the opposite direction here. Same goes for here. We are going to step our caps though, so that's going to go like that. If you wanted to unstep your caps, that actually has it face the opposite direction, which is fun. So once I get my four corners in, I often do the frame. And that's because I use softer plates, and it makes it kind of start locking everything into place. So I find that I end up with less issues when I do the frame first. So we'll do the top now, then we're going to do this row, and then we'll do the middle too. If you are following along at home. Okay, so, and I do this one next because of the spacebar. In this particular case, it's got this, like, they didn't put any type of relief cuts or anything in here. It's just a solid piece, so I don't think it's gonna matter, but I just do it with everything. Because it has foams in it, you don't need to use a plate fork, and you can't. So there's that. Now, if we don't like the Saru, there are other options. As you can see, I have plenty of switches. I love testing switches. What's up, WizTech Gamer? Good morning. Or evening for you guys. And then I just sort of start working my way towards the center. That's really because that's how I roll. Yeah, these are switches from Divinikey, and it's a collaboration with HMX, and these are called the Saru V2s. They have a big tactile bump immediately in the switch, so like right there, like 0.1 millimeter in, you have the bump, and then it just smoothly flows down after that, which is cool. So now that we have all of our switches in, I am going to install this. Just gonna go like that, I believe. So the you have to be careful when you're doing this. This is the adhesive foam that comes with it. You don't need to use it. I do, because I love the effect that this gives. This is kind of one of those things that really adds that marbly Mellatrix sound. But be careful not to rip your foams. Pretty satisfying though. You first, you next. And okay, there's one layer of plastic that my cat will want to eat. So I should have done the other one first. Should have done the blue one first. I always forget. So this is really only part one of my journey with the Zoom64. For those of you who were not here earlier, I will be receiving the wooting kit for this. And when I do, I'll be doing another one of these. Oh, no, I had it right the first time. I should have trusted myself. Didn't. And so when that comes, I will try this with the wooting kit to show off that. And just kind of pat it down. You'll see it get kind of bumpy. Make sure that all of your switches switch hot swap sockets are positioned correctly, that will help you. I'm going to lift that up. All right. So again, this has the ball catch system. So you pop it off. This is perfect for a builder like me who loves to change stuff around. Oh, you know what I didn't put in, and now I won't, is the PET sheet. There is one for the plate and there's one for the bottom. We will put in the bottom, but we will not put in the top. So you go up like that, you do not. So it should sit like that. Then we will take our ribbon cable here, slide it in, should just slot in like that, and then you should see all of our big glow. Actually, should not have done that. I should not have done that. Nope. Let's go ahead and we're going to undo that because I forgot a very important step. I was going to use the bouncy O-ring thing. Actually, I didn't really care for the O-ring thing. Let's just do the dimples. We're going to do dimples. I wonder if they gave us extra of these. These are their little gaskets. They fit on here. This plate mounts it. You can also PCB mount it with the O-rings, which we might try, depending on how this goes. And once again, they sent us exactly enough. So shame on them. If there's one thing you should always send extras of, it's the gaskets. At least one. And then it sits on top like that, which is good. Set that off to the side. Make sure that our sheet on the bottom is in place. It is. And then we'll add our top frame. Pops in like that. And now keycaps. For the keycaps today, we'll be using the Osume with the Gemini horoscope. It is June after all. So this is a Gemini horoscope, or Osume horoscope with the Gemini mods. So let's see. Designed by Osume. These are a die sub PBT keycap set. So kind of doubling and tripling down. Oh, what did you have to tell me? this. Uh-oh. That is not bouncing correctly. So here. Why aren't you going right? That seems to be fine-ish now. You're gonna go here. I think I want you over here. Okay. Those are our novelties that we'll be using. Oh, hydrate. Need more coffee. Oh, thanks for that. Because you can't have keyboards and coffee without coffee. I really enjoy some of the custom keycap sets. I don't often go for too many novelties on my keycaps. I love colorways. Osume is one of the things I do enjoy. They include a little card, which I enjoy. There's their logo for this particular set. This is the horoscope. Then if you look at the back, they give you a description of what it's inspired by. Obviously, in this case, it's horoscope. And then it tells you what their colorways are that they used for the set. Which is, again, I think it's neat. They include a keycap sticker that is matched to the colorway of the set that you get. So different sets will have different colors. It's the same design. I've only used the sticker once. So I have all of the stickers for all of my sets except for two. One is for Night Market, which I put on to my thing over here. And the other one is the Sakura set because I bought it aftermarket. These open pretty well, and one of the things about the Osume keycap sets that I absolutely love is that everything in here there we go. Everything has a place, and not only does everything have a place, their place is, let's see, can I get it to show up? It's written. There you go. You can kind of see it. It's written underneath every place for every key where every key goes. Yeah. It's acting fine now. But it looks like it's off kilter. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. If I put it on kilter, it doesn't want to rise. If I push it down on one side. So I'm wondering why you're not being... I don't want to have to take your... Well, it's fine. Let's just check it out real quick. There you go. There's that ball catch system. We will... I bet I know what it's gotta be. I know what it's gotta be. Just know it. Let's see if the adept is right. Okay. Pull you out. Alright, so it's this side. So we peel this back carefully. Don't rip your foam. Because what we're looking for in this particular case is going to be whether or not... And there it is. Alright, that's an easy fix, everybody. I should have just done it. That clip did not clip the way it should have clipped. All right. Let's move you somewhere. It's a good box. Okay, let's put this back down. Let's try it again. That's better. Okay. That's funny. Back in, make sure our plastic is in place, drop our top back down. That's better. Okay. Oh, well, yeah, we'll stretch first. You can see my Kitty Pryde t-shirt. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Kitty Pryde from the X-Men, but yep. She is my favorite Marvel character. Yep. She came around right about the time where I started collecting comic books, and she was around my age. She had one of the coolest powers ever. Of course, you know, only one problem with her powers, and that is it destroyed electronics. And they did some messed up stuff with her over the years. And apparently, it's just getting messed-er upper. Those are not words. That's good. Good, like a Better Than Ezra song. If you're not familiar with Better Than Ezra, oh, right. So, the Zoom64, keep in mind, you need to use a 2U shift key. Come on. Go on. There we go. On, you need to use a 2U shift key on the left side and a 1U shift key on the right side. So it'll look like that. All right. Have a great night. Get some sleep. It'll be Monday before you know it. Well, in the comics, he went through alcoholism, so kind of interesting there. Have a good night. Thanks for showing up. So I went through a couple of alternative keycap sets when I was thinking about what I was going to use on here. And originally I was thinking about using Retro Mix Lights, which is a great set, with the dark alphas, which would have looked fantastic, except I did not have the 2U left shift. The same goes for Santa Lume Resurrectio. This does use a 6.25U spacebar, and that is locked. So you can't use a 7U or split, which is a shame. They've split their spacebars in the past, and I really like their split spacebars. I have it on my, if you saw the Zoom CKL at the beginning, I have that split because the split spacebar is the best sounding spacebar. 7U is the second best sounding spacebar, and 6.25, well, it exists. It's not bad. We'll see. As a matter of fact, we'll see right now, since we are ready. Here we go. Just to take a look at this real quick. And let's see if we can get that mandala effect. There you go. You can see it at the top. And it goes around the whole board, along the top, along the cherry lip, which I did not bring enough attention to the cherry lip before, and along the frame. It is only really visible against light, even along here. Then you have your light frame along the bottom. And then, once again, that mandala effect along the bottom. There's a good view of it. Here's our side profile. So you have this big swoop that curves like. Now there's no mandala around this curve here that goes around this part, but it is on the bottom and on the sides. And as far as what I would rate it, let's find out. As far as the look and feel goes, I really enjoy it. The scroll wheel has a bit of a noise to it, like it's rubbing something, but overall I like it. It's got a bit of a bump to it. You have an accent light here. I don't know if it's selectable individually. We'll find out later. RGB is good. The switches that I have in here do not have a light diffuser, so and it has kind of a dark bottom, so that's going to hinder the light a little bit, and it'll tint it a little bit brown, which is not a bad thing. Tinting it brown isn't going to really affect too much. It's not like a blue or a purple or a red where it throws your lights off. Brown is less obtrusive. Let's go ahead and we're going to pause the music, and we are going to do a sound test. So this is the Zoom64 full foams palm plate with the HMX Divinikey collab Saru V2 switches and Osume Horoscope keycaps. So yeah, I like it. I really love the switches. They have the good, solid bottom out that I would expect from an HMX switch. The bump really is there, but barely there. When I say barely there, I mean it's like you feel it, but since it's right at the beginning, it is so unobtrusive. And this is a standard sound for sub PVT spacebar. The stock stabilizers are pretty good, but there is a bit of a, that is a stabilizer issue. Might have to look into that stabilizer as well. Let's go take a look at the software. So we'll actually plug it in and make sure this thing works. Bring it down to the bottom so that I can put the window at the top. Let's move that up here or right here. And restart my music. It's a beautiful board. Hey, look, they did the thing. So it's configurable in VIA, but you need a JSON file for it. You need a separate JSON file for the case kit? Okay, yes, so it recognizes it. There are two lightings. So let's see if we put this at solid color. Is that going to be the bottom? It is. Now, the lighting on the bottom is invisible. When you have the keyboard down, it is an accent light that you will never see. It is essentially a pretty weight that lights up, similar to the QK80 Mark II, where they have the two lights on the bottom that you'll never see, and they're just accents. We'll do an up-down gradient. We'll do a purple, blue to purple up-down gradient. And if you change your brightness, move that further over. that. Make it kind of pretty. Let's go to our key mapping. As you see, there are 6 layers of key mapping that you can set. We are going to go with right alt, right control. Our MO1 is going to be over here. Everything else on layer 1 is fine. Now, let's not have that. Well, let's just do it this way. We'll come back to hue and saturation. Page up. And then this is going to be delete. And page down. That's going to be play pause. That's going to be MO2. Lighting. Hue, saturation. Hue, saturation. So, and then custom. Lamp test goes there. Okay. So we've kind of shifted all of that stuff over so that I can have my navigation cluster as well as my volume controls back where I usually like it. This has to stay default because that is your F1. Then this becomes my M2. Yeah, this is a good design. Now I can do the volume control up here. But I don't, currently it's set to RGB. What in the Jelly G Willikers heck is that? Oh. I don't know. I mean, it says I have 6 viewers. I only have I have a few lurkers, which is fine. Perfect for me. I do a lot of lurking, so it's not like I can say anything. Will not let me do that. Interesting. All right, thanks. Ugh. Almost out of coffee, though. Oh, did I stretch? I did not stretch. Oh. I needed that too. All right. Let's see. Magic key codes. Whoa, hold on. We might need those. Okay, more stretching. Okay. Mouse keys, modifiers. Hey, Bert. If you highlight the key function in Maya, it'll show you the key codes. Yes, the only ones it was showing me, though, are for lighting, which is weird. Unless it doesn't have anything but lighting. So... see what I mean? And it seems like it should do volume control. And it does. So I don't know why it's showing me only lighting. We'll leave it alone then. But thanks for that. You made me go look at it. So is there anything? Oh, that's good to know. So on our layer 2 is where our reset lives. Oh, when you go to the function, setting a key for it. Anyway, I just wanted it to have volume control. Not that I actually need it, because I have volume control listed here. So it's not like it's really necessary, but it's good to have. So again, that is what I do. I love a slow keyboard. Just kidding. Let's see. So if you split your backspace, split your left shift, or ISO, you'll set those there. You'll see that it alters it. It's fine. We're not doing any of that stuff, so. Next week I'm doing the 75 TMR. So, Hippio just did it on his stream, or on his video. Oh no, I'm officially out of coffee. How could I let that happen? I mean, because I've been drinking coffee for an hour and a half, I guess. Yeah, so that is the volume. Let's take a look at this backspace though. It's a little crunchy. I'll just look at the switch first. Slide's fine. Where is my switch puller? Where are you at? So, for those of you who do not know, I am from New Orleans. And there's a what's called the yat accent. Now what a yat accent is the accent where if you talk to people there, they'll say, hey, where yat? That means, hey, how are you? It doesn't actually ask where you are. There's switch puller. Check it. No, it still has a little bit of a bump crunch thing going on there. Let's take a look first at its. They are both seated. No, it's definitely there. At the very bottom. The next Pro is out for delivery right now. Actually. You know, I enjoy Hipio for the entertainment of him, but sometimes he says that Creamy Jade mechanical switches are box stems. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't you know that it's not a box stem? I did not tell him that. Sometimes I reply to his videos and let him know where he messed up, but I didn't in this case. It wasn't seated all the way in the screw side. Got it. Okay. Okay. Fixed. Fixed and fixed. What do we think of the colorway? Do we think this matches? I kind of wanted to do more of a mystical thing since it's got the mandala on it, which is why I went with these particular keycaps. And let's try the, well, I keep disconnecting this ribbon cable and then I'm like, oh, let me do this other thing that's not this. So this is fun. We're gonna try the other mounting style. See if it gives us a little bit more bounce. You want a firmer feel if you're going to be doing Hall effect. obviously, to help stabilize your switches so that they better read on the Hall effect. But we're doing mechanical today. So I want as bouncy as possible. Yes, finally fixed. Whew. I need, so we have our this is the isolated O-ring. This was available on, hey Klex, morning. Let me put these away before I bump them and they go everywhere, since Mellatrix did not see fit to include extras. Again, shame on you, Mellatrix, for not including extras. Okay. They include one of everything. Or rather, exactly enough for building this one board. No extras, no nothing on everything. So I can assume that there's exactly enough screws in here. Here's our O-rings. And then essentially how this works is they screw in here. Do they use the same hex? Yes, okay. So far, at least, one advantage, or one plus I will give to Mellatrix is that this entire keyboard can be fixed with the screwdriver they provided, or disassembled, or worked on every piece uses the same bit, and it is the one bit that they include with the keyboard. Which I always enjoy. Now, if only they had made them, or the screwdriver, magnetic. You're coming off for now. We'll come back to you. Because I think the screws themselves are magnetic. Or ferrous, yes. Ferrous would be a better, more accurate term, I think. And there it goes again. I bet. Alright. I'm kind of overusing that. I need something with a little bit more magnetism. Are you the right bit? You look like you're too small. No, you are exactly the right bit. Now, hey, look. I fix it, I fixed it. So there's 4 along the top, 4 along the bottom. Oh, bye. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Always enjoy seeing you. I'll talk to you in the chats. You have a great evening. Get some sleep. Or not. Or go party. You could do that. You're young. Alright, I'm going to set this a little bit in. Hopefully we don't lose screws, because again, there's probably only exactly enough for this. Funny thing is, Millitrix hasn't really had a problem with, at least in my case, sending out replacement parts. Just seems like you would save yourself some customer support headache if you sent out some extras. But I guess if you're sending out a bunch of keyboards, you're playing a numbers game. And that number is, will they reach out if they need support? And will they even figure it out? And yeah, well, it's really interesting. So you have this ribbon cable that goes to here, that's going to go to the PCB. You have this one that goes to a separate daughter board that's under here that controls this pogo pin, which is the volume control. Now you have this trough here that is actually, there's a different daughter board that then routes to a separate board that goes here that has a USB on it, so that you can plug a routing into here if you wanted to run it as with a routing PCB in here. I am waiting for that daughter board and the plate that will allow me to actually use it. It is on its way, along with mystery boxes. I kind of stopped doing mystery boxes, but it's been a while. So I decided to give Millitrix mystery boxes another shot. Or give mystery boxes another shot with Millitrix. Come on. Are you too good for your home? No, you were, because you were nowhere near it. Okay. I'm going to do this without scratching my case. Oh. Yeah, I asked them if they would try to send me some before it finished, so that I could do a video on it while it was still running. But I'm like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And it didn't, so it's fine. Then the O-rings go on here like so, like little rubber bands, which is essentially what they are. Again, they included exactly enough screws. They included exactly enough rubber bands. Sorry, O-rings. which I guess technically they're not rubber bands because they're not made of rubber. We'll plug our ribbon cable back in. And drop this down. Put our case back on. They did launch some alu keycaps, and maybe there will be some in my mystery box. We'll see. I asked for keyboards, obviously. I told them what keyboards I had, because they had a thing on there where it's like, tell us. So for those of you who have not seen it, I don't think that you saw this, Klex, but there is a mandala that runs along the top frame. You can see it kind of better here, and then you'll see it even better when we get to the bottom. Cherry lip along the sides, which has a good big swoop. What's up, Cheeky Bean? It's going pretty good. We are just finishing up the Zoom64. We're trying the second mounting style, which is the O-ring-ish type of thing. Very curvy. And then here's the mandala. Which is awesome looking. And then we have the new Divinikey HMX collab switch, which is the Saru, which is a it's a tactile, but the bump is 0.1 millimeter into the push. So it's like right at the top, and then it just kind of gradually planes off. So it's kind of a tactile linear hybrid. And then we have the Osume Horoscope with the Gemini accent keycaps. And then my space bar is going just fine. Here we are. Okay. Yep, 2U shift. That actually restricted me a little bit. I was going to use retro mix lights with the dark alphas on here instead, but I don't have a 2U shift for it. So that was not going to happen. These switches feel really good. And these are the stock stabs that came with it, pre-lube stabs. So I just installed them and went. So overall, this is a pretty straightforward build. Again, it has full foams, as you can probably tell. I mean, it's not, and it's very like that. Those O-rings really do bring the bounce, which I'm happy with. I like a good bouncy board. So it's the one, well, actually I don't really use the right shift, so I don't care about the 1U over here. I like the fact that there is arrow keys. This is volume control, but it's changeable in via. And that's an interesting point because it's ball catch. And then that's connected by a pogo pin. But when you and we will see this when I actually get it, when you install the module for using the wooting itself connects to the daughter board that'll come, and then you still have that volume knob. So it essentially gives you a volume knob for your wooting. Interesting though, the O-ring has added a little bit of resonance, and I'm not upset by this. I am upset by my spacebar, which is no longer behaving appropriately. Why are you not behaving appropriately now? Spacebar? What did you do? You done messed up, Ron. I mean, they have pogo pins in some places, which is weird. Let me try. Tightening my screws down. They're all kind of tight. They were tight before, so I don't think that's the mistake or the error. Maybe. Yeah, I mean it's weird. But also weird is my spacebar. Because it was fine. Now it seems like it's not seated properly. Don't be churlish. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Louis? We'll go with Louis. I should have taken the spacebar off first. I think I got it. Like everything needed to be reseated. How weird. Back out, top off, ribbon cable in. By the way, this is the reason why I enjoy ribbon cables. I will always enjoy ribbon cables much more than I enjoy Molex Quick Connect or whatever they're being called these days. The Molex Fast Connect connectors. They are hot garbage. I will talk shit about them forever. Because as much of a pain as it can be sometimes to put ribbon cables back in, at least they don't break after one use or even out of the box. No, I think I like JST. I mean, JSTs have their own problem. I mean, with ribbon cables, I feel like I'm less likely to actually ruin the ribbon cable and they're easily replaced. Whereas with JST connectors, if you accidentally bend a pin inside the JST connector, you're kind of screwed. So, nope, this is still... Hey, look at that. Fixed it. So, I wonder if I need to use a bumper. No, because it doesn't sit. Yes, it does. Let's see. Is this going to ruin my bounce? That's going to ruin my bounce. It's not going to ruin my bounce. Hey, End of Greatness, what's up? I mean, IDE cables. I'll never have PTSD about IDE cables, man. But, I mean, I can definitely see Jignate doing that. I got this. Hold my beer. So, since it sits higher, with... No, I believe it. I do like these switches though. Are they better than Lunar Stones? I may need to get more to find out. Yeah. All right. So this is this build. Where is? Let's see if we can get rid of some of my fingerprints. So when I show it off in a second, because I think I want to rebuild the agar real quick with different different keycaps, because I think the Santa Lum keycaps will look great on there. All right. Maybe I need to get white gloves. All right, so let's show off this. I definitely need to get white gloves, apparently. There we go. So this is the Midnight Ink Glow with the mandala on the bottom. For those of you who have not seen this yet, this is really interesting laser etched mandala effect. It's on the bottom, it's on the sides, it's on the sides, even on the scoop. You can see how it's got that scoop right here. It is there as well. Runs along the back. See, that's what I was thinking. Along the cherry lip on the top. And then we have our Osume Gemini, or Horoscope with Gemini novelties. Because June, and because I'm a Gemini. And then the HMX Divinikey collab Saru V2 switches. And that is this. That is the first build. Now, currently on my PC agar, I have these keycaps, which are nice. They're nice. Calm down. Okay. This is my PC agar. It is currently configured for MX. Kind of the baseline sound. The switches we have in here, if I'm not mistaken, should be HMX Chew and AR. These are HMX Chew switches, also known as first encounter switches on some places, which are in here not just because they're milky, which go with the frosted case, Although, it doesn't hurt. See, look at that. That's nice. Then we have our weight on the bottom, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the agar. Copper weight. Always pretty. Pops right out. We've got our foam in the bottom. And this just kind of sets in here. The best implementation of the pogo pin connectors, I would have to say. I love it. They've used this connector on several of their boards so far. I don't have any good red switches though. The only red switches I have are Bad Sweethearts, and I don't like them. Yeah, that would be the only ones I have that are. No. I have black switches. Right. I have more blue switches. Calm down. Alright. But in this case, we are going to pull. This keycap set is the Winter Breath Reborn. So we're going to actually pull the Winter Breath Reborn. All my multicolored switches are like purples and blues. I have HMX Sugar Rush, which has pink stems, but you would never see the stems, so it doesn't matter. This is Santalum. Resurrecio. Yes, they are the ones by the random keycap company Go Master. That is correct. For those of you who are unfamiliar, so yeah, we're gonna try it. Oh, I forgot to put my phone back on the bottom of my. Before I start on that, let me finish my last build because I'll forget to do it later. And no wonder it sounded a little bit different. You go up there. Whatever you do, don't fall. I appreciate that. I like hearing that. That I've shared something that people have enjoyed enough to hopefully seek out on their own. Once again, ribbon cable. I think my favorite green set is still going to be Emma. I love that color green. It is very deep, rich green, which is what I would go for if I were going for green. Not that I go for green that often, although I think all of my green sets are on boards right now. Even Loki. Plug this back in. Make sure our ESD sheet is not running into anything. Takes out some of that resonance. Everything looks good. Okay. Sorry. All right. Ain't nothing wrong with a clanker, yo. Oh, it's just gonna be like that, is it? In some cases, my keycaps are stronger than my plate because I use PC plate on here, so the switches don't completely lock. Like they click into the plate. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And so it is. All the switches are coming out with it, with the keycaps. This happens on softer plates. So not a problem for all of you alu plate people. This was a gift from Divinikey when they sent me some switches to take a look at, namely my Cthulhu switches. And some other switches, the Aster switches and the G-Ray switches. They included this in the pack, which was nice of them. So now I have a 4 keycap at a time puller. It's good for long rows like this, but when I get down to having to pull like arrow clusters and stuff like that, I still have to go back to my good old trusty free Akko keycap puller. When I'm trying to do a board, as kind of an extra, like now, it's nice to be able to pull out 4 at a time. Just a reminder for everybody, if you are able to be in the Denver area, the Denver meetup is next Sunday. Sunday! Live at localhost. It's gonna be insane. It's not gonna be insane. Pull up. Hey, pulling up. Or did I try to, or was I angling? I try not to angle. You know what's really good about not angling? It's apparently Diego. Apparently Diego is never angled his keycap puller when he pulls up, and he wants to go camping. Camping is outside. Ugh. Although I have been watching essentially glamping videos where it's, you know, inflatable tents, and they inflate it, then they inflate furniture, then they put in a stove and a heater and a bunch of lights, and I haven't decided on what boards I'm bringing. I mean, obviously, I'm going to bring all of the new ones. So the ASCII F will be there. The Zoom64 will be there. Next week, before the meetup, I will be streaming the new EpoMaker HE75 TMR board, and I'll be trying to make sure that I can, or that anybody can, rooftop camping. I don't think I've ever watched rooftop camping. I can't rooftop camp here, so what else? So yeah, when I get to this point, I'm going to switch. This was gonna come out. What else? Oh, okay. I get it. Yes. The same people who do the inflatable tent videos also occasionally do the pop-up rooftop videos, where basically it surrounds their entire off-road car with tent, because like it'll come out the sides and they sleep in the top, and yeah, know what you're talking about. Uh-oh. Ignore that noise. Just gotta check something real quick. I am on call. We may end up having to cut this short if this is an actual call. I will hurry up and finish this board, but I do need to return that call, because somebody decided that they needed to work on a Sunday morning. Apparently, it's excessive slowness with their cursor. I am trying to remain a very diligent employee, even though they are reducing my salary by 30%. Yeah, I think it's looking good. I may end up having to use different switches in here depending on how these come out, but that'll be off stream since I've got to call that person back, whoever that is. Going to skip the enter key. Okay, let's look at the next layer. You can stay there. We're going to include just a couple of accents. Kind of dig this one. And then we need long. By the way, this keycap set, well, it does not include a 2U shift, as far as I can tell. What it does include is two 2.25 shifts, as well as a 6U spacebar. So you can do true HHKB with Santa Loom, for those of you who want to do true HHKB. And here we go. All right. Let's go ahead and put this back on. Let's get our lid back on. No, the agar does not support true HHKB. It only has a 7U spacebar. So they do not make a version of the agar that has a 6U spacebar. So yeah, I like it. Let's see how it sounds. That's nice. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got to go do my day job. What do you think? I think it also works with the copper. And then we will change. Currently, I think it's got the white glow. Right? But I think I'm going to make it kind of do a red transition glow on it. Oh no, it's fine. I'm on call for my day job, and we got a call, so I've got to go address that. So I'm just going to wrap up the stream. Let me see if anybody is streaming yet. That we could raid. Raid? No. Okay. Yeah, I will see everybody next Sunday. Like I said, for the we'll be comparing switches that have a Hall effect versus a mechanical, like an analogous. We have the milky yellows as well as the creamy jades, and we'll be building out the HE75 V2 TMR with the same switches, only will replace like the WASD and the inner and the space and stuff with the Hall effect switches, and then have the mechanical versions in the rest of the board. So join me for that, and that's next Sunday, same time, for coffee or keyboards and coffee. Until then, everybody keep building, and thanks for showing up. You're all awesome, and I really